All right, looks like we are live, guys. I'm gonna wait just a few minutes, see if I can get everybody on here. I gotta set this back up. Here we go. All right, let's see. I think that's about good. All right. Everybody can see me. I'm going to see if I can log on to my computer at the same time. Right now, I can't see your comments because I haven't looked at my live stream yet. Let me reload my page, but good to see everybody. Unfortunately, we're a little bit behind. Sorry, about 27 minutes. Still trying to figure out the audio stuff, and we're still working with mics and things. You can see I'm not on. I don't have a mic on because we're getting weird buzzing, and I can't get my Bluetooth to work. Still trying to figure it out. Unfortunately, we always wait till like an hour before the stream. We're thinking, oh, this is fine. An hour before the stream, be perfect. We'll plenty of time to test everything, and then of course we don't. Okay, there's my hangout. Let's see who's here. Ooh, 25 watching. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Working in my shop in the chicken coop. Nice. Crafting the life I want. Working on chicken coop. That's cool. Hello, Dirk Stubbs, William Cabana. Afternoon, Jeremy Arnold. Good to see you. Etienne Doyon. Hello, evening from Andrew Johnson. Evening. Andrew Johnson, where are you? Where is it evening? Because here it's 1:30, or is that just a joke because I took so long to get on? So today I'm just going to be hanging out. I have my mini Coleman, and this has, let's see, what do we got inside? We got 6 beers. I'm not going to be drinking all 6 beers, but I figured I'd like to have a few. So I have them ready, and they're cold. I'll be opening that up in just a second. KCK Actual, Dirk Stubbs. Grandpa's Farm, how's it going? Good to see you. We are here. Sounds okay-ish. Yeah, sorry guys. Right now I'm just using my audio from the phone. Unfortunately, the audio it's not great. So we're trying to figure it out. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's the cable. Maybe it's we can't get the Bluetooth to work on the wireless mic. So there's all sorts of fun stuff that we're going to deal with. But I figured either way, it'd still be fun to hang out with you guys in the shop, drink a couple beers, answer some questions, and go from there. So let's see, in my office, BC Canada, Randy Lewis, joining from the office on the Saturday. Oof. I hope you're, working hard or hardly working. Andrew Johnson in the UK. Okay, that makes sense. Is that 6 hours behind? 5 hours behind? On the other side of the pond. Good morning, Alaska Gary. Making a forge from a shopping trolley. Eli Baxter. Shopping trolley. Like a shopping cart, I'm assuming. Same thing. Trolley must be another UK guy, Eli Baxter. Working on a porch for the last 3 days. Good to get outside. All right. Expensive belt grinders. My opinion on expensive belt grinders. A question from Charles Ford. My opinion is if you can afford an expensive belt grinder, get yourself an expensive belt grinder, because why not? At this point, belt grinders are so popular that the expensive ones are going to be as good as possible. It's not like something that's expensive just for the sake of being expensive. The companies that are making belt grinders, they're still specific to a specific area of expertise in what people are doing for knife making and blacksmithing. If you can afford an expensive belt grinder, then get one. I mean, it's going to have all the tooling is going to be really nice. Everything's going to work really well. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be set up the way you want it to go. But that being said, you do not need an expensive belt grinder to make awesome knives or to do awesome work with metal. I used a 1x30 from Harbor Freight for a long time doing my bevels. I used a 4x36. I switched to a 2x42. And those have all worked really well. I could send you or show you guys what we have for upcoming video. A guy that I've become friends with through YouTube, Brian House, his channel is Housework. He sent me a 2x42 Revolution grinder. One of his grinders. He custom built it for me. I don't want to show you the whole thing because I don't want to give it away yet, but if you look on the thumbnail of my my teaser post from yesterday, you'll see the very front edge of it. So that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, check it out. So yeah, he sent us the 2x72 Revolution grinder that he designed. You'll actually see it if you go over and check out some of his recent videos. You'll see it sitting in his shop, and he kind of says that he's been working on it for a friend. I'm the friend. Thank you so much, Brian. I can't tell you how awesome it is. I'm so excited to have it now in the shop. I'm super honored. So keep an eye out for that video. That'll be coming out hopefully tomorrow. Let's see. Day drinking. Yeah, Levi Martin. That's right, buddy. Oh, nice. Videos about your house. How old is it? Recently purchased a farmhouse built. This is from Kenneth Darden. I do not have any videos about my house. I rent this house on this property. I've been here for 5 years. It's a great location. But yes, I don't really have any videos. I just have like a shop tour video of the basement. But other than that, a lot of my videos will see me out and around the house. But it is an old house. It's actually a single-story house. It was originally a two-story house, but there was a fire, and they just cut off the top. All right, 6:30 in 6:30 in the UK. Let's see. Okay, well, let's see. I think somebody asked what type of beers am I drinking. Beers and power tools. That's right, buddy. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through some of these comments real quick. Let's see. What beers do you store in there, Dennis? Zipprich. Dennis, I have 3 different Magic Hat varieties. I have the Magic Hat Never on Time Pilsner. I have the Magic Hat number 9, which I'm going to drink first. And then I also have a Magic Hat Elderberry. I got this from a jam pack, a 15 piece jam pack. 15 count. You can't get any better than that. And then I also have some UFO beers. I have the UFO White. And I have UFO Georgia Peach. This is from a mix box from UFO. All exciting stuff. We'll keep them cold, keep them put away until I'm ready for that. But I'm going to open up this Magic Hat number 9. Let me know what beers you guys have where you are. Or if you're drinking anything today, let me know. All right. Let's see. Tabletop Forge. How many hours would a standard 20-pound propane tank last with a 3-inch burner? Thank you, Sean Ritchie. I appreciate the love. So you love the channel. It's hard to tell. I don't have enough experience blacksmithing or using my forge. I've used it plenty of times to do heat treating for knives. I've done some smithing, but I mean, it's hard. I don't know. Like they last a good amount of time for the amount of money. I can get a 20-pound tank refilled for $15, $16, something like that, and it will last me. I mean, usually, sometimes I'll switch them back and forth between my grill and my forge because I use the same ones. I can run the forge for several hours a couple times, and run the grill, 6-8 times before it runs out. So it lasts a pretty decent amount of time. I may be wrong, but that's what I think. I don't have to film all that often, and for the price, it's worth it 100%. Texas, hello from Texas. Tool restoration project coming up. I have a drill press that I would like to do a restoration, an older drill press. I also knew a guy not too far from me who had an old antique bandsaw. It was a couple years ago I saw it, and I wasn't able to get it at the time. I just reached out to him within the last day or so to see if he still has it. So we'll see. Oh, John Claris, no beers. That's sad. Any of those? Yeah. All right. Let's see. So Noodles 1980 said, "Do you think that stainless steel is overlooked as a bushcraft knife steel?" I don't actually. I think there are so many really good stainless steel options out there in this day and age that you know there are tons of people using stainless steel for bushcraft knives. I think the history of stainless steel, it's gotten to a point now where it's much better as a steel. It can be much harder. It can keep an edge longer. There's so many more like concoctions of stainless steel that do better things now and are better than they used to be. So I have the mindset that stainless steel is not as good as high carbon steel. I mean, it's something that's not as true anymore. And there's definitely benefits for each thing. High carbon steel, if you get it really hard, it's going to hold an edge. And that's the main thing, especially for bushcraft. You want something that's going to hold an edge as long as possible. If you're out in the bush, if you're going to be out there for a while, you want to be able to hold that edge. You can always carry a little sharpening stone or a hone with you, but the longer the edge, the better. Especially if you're going to do any like hard bushcrafting, hard camping, things like that. Let's see. Noodles. Oh man, don't want to be drinking no Marlboro Reds, brother. Kill you. Pilsner Urquell, Humberto Mino. All right, nice. No beer because it's illegal to sell during lockdown. Oh no. So I'm in Maryland. Was it 2 weeks ago or so? They actually gave us, put us in like a stay-at-home order. So we have to stay at home, but the liquor stores are still open. So it's not a complete lockdown yet. Switchback, Sean Ritchie, nice. Switchback, that's up in Vermont or Maine. Switchback is great. Mount Snow. My in-laws live in Vermont, in Whitingham, and so they're close to Mount Snow. And if you go to Mount Snow, they have Switchback on tap at the bar, Mount Snow, which is awesome. So I do like Switchback. That's a good IPA. Charles Ford, what torch would you recommend? Ooh, dang. That, man. Sean Nod says there's no smokes for sale. It's also illegal to sell cigarettes. I mean, I'm not a smoker, but I feel bad for those of you who are, man. That's tough. You're stuck at home, can't drink, can't smoke, stressed out. I don't say, guys, I'm sorry. Delivering beer to your house in Colorado and a few other vices also. Ooh, nice. There you go. Free beer delivery. Let's see. Loxton Poston says, "I hope you and your family are safe. Stick to the rules. I'll be fine." Yeah, we are. We're doing our best. We're staying here. We're staying in the house. I'm a teacher, so I'm teaching mobily from home, and it's working fine. It's not ideal. The best part about teaching is working with my students. I don't get to see my students, so that sucks. But fortunately I have a job that I still can do from home. Grab one knife out of your kitchen which knife would you grab? Ooh, that's an awesome question, because I recently just made a kitchen knife, an 8-inch chef's knife with let's see, it had a Bacote handle with black liners. It's a nice heavy one. I have Henkel knives, but they're really thin and they're light, which is great for slicing. But I always really like a heavier knife, so I made myself one. That's one I'd grab out of my knife block. It's like rigid and heavy, and it's got some great weight to it, and it's the knife I just made. So that thing would be awesome. All right, how we doing out there, guys? New Hampshire, we get alcohol delivered from takeout restaurants. Sean Ritchie, yeah. Step-by-step sheath making was, oh great. Sean Ritchie says the sheath making video was helpful. I appreciate that. I wanted to make those 3 sheaths for the knives that I had made, and sheath making is so much of a step-by-step thing. It's so rigid. I mean, if you miss a step or you forget something or you don't do something, there are key steps along the way that are just instrumental to coming out with a really highly crafted thing at the end. So I wanted to kind of do that. I thought it was important to show that step by step and show you what you do and try to write it down. I had to go back and add a couple in along the way because I was kind of writing it down, thinking through all the steps, but that's part of it. Now I have that list to go back and reference when I'm doing other sheaths. I did forget one step, and a few people let me know, was actually like cutting out the groove, doing a stitching groove on the inside of the sheath and on the outside of the sheath for the belt loop. What are you gonna do? Like I said, if I have a couple of sheaths that I didn't do it from some of my earliest sheaths that I made that I didn't do grooves inside, around the belt loop and all the stitching, and those haven't worn at all. They've been really good. So maybe it's not going to last like 40 years, but it's not the be all and end all. But that's one of those steps that I'll put back in there and make sure that's there when I move on to the next sheath. Oh man! All right. Article 5, Section 4. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Western New York State make stone knives with deer antler handles. That's awesome. Paleo Man 52. That's super cool. There's a really cool Primitive Technologies meetup here in Maryland. In one of the parks here in Baltimore County that I've gone to for quite several years, and they do lots of napping and stuff. And I tried just a little bit, just doing some kind of pressure flaking on some I think it was just black glass. It wasn't actually obsidian, but somebody had like a piece I could test on. That was like super fun, just watching people do it. I mean, I could just think like, I don't know, it's so stressful doing flint napping. You're working along, you're like doing all these beautiful flakes, and then you hit it just a little wrong, and the whole thing breaks. I mean, I guess that's with anything, the better you get, the better you are, the more you practice, but that's cool. I'd love to do more flint napping. Let's see, Noodles, do you really think three-quarter tang is inferior to a full tang knife? I do not think that a three-quarter tang is inferior to a full tang. I mean, a knife is only going to last you as long as you take care of it and treat it, the way you want it to be treated. So, a knife is designed for cutting. It's not an axe. I mean, if you baton a knife, if you baton it correctly, that could split something if you had a three-quarter tang. But I mean, if you have a hidden tang with like three-quarters full, even if you're talking about like a full tang, or like where you have a instead of having a full tang that goes all the way through the handle, maybe you have a three-quarter tang that goes three-quarters of the way through the handle, even a hidden tang. And I have several hidden tang knives that I've used, a lot of times, and I just fill that void with epoxy, get everything held in there really well. And a lot of people even send a rivet through that first quarter of the tang inside the handle. I mean, in the end, yes, a full tang knife is going to be stronger, right? You have metal all the way through one solid piece of metal. It's innately stronger than less metal. But I mean, it's, again, if you're really wailing on something, if you're batoning something that you are gonna like snap, the blade and the handle off instead before you actually snap the blade, then you're doing it wrong. Oh man, Paleo Man. Let's see. He said we should get you up to 100,000 subs so you can get your play button. I'm waiting on that, buddy. I am. It's exciting. This is really fun. This whole journey has been crazy. My brother and I started out just thinking it'd be fun to make some videos. I'm in the shop all the time. He's filming all the time. He wanted to do something. We wanted to work together. And so we start putting it together. We're like, see where it goes. It could be fun. And it has been super fun. The channel's been growing, which is really cool. So we'll see. I'd love to get to 100. I'd love to get to 1 million subs. I'd love to, be able to just do this full time and give you guys videos all the time. That's the goal, which would be awesome. Like I said earlier, I love teaching and it's been fun, but really what better thing would be just to make my own artwork and my own, craft for myself, and be able to completely sustain and make stuff and, sell stuff and give stuff away. That would be awesome. So, yeah. If you're not subscribed, get over there, hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. Let's get up to 100,000. Get that play button. I'll hang it up on the wall right behind me so you guys can see it in the shop. Let's see. Make a hidden tang knife with a guard and some really nice wood. Hidden tang knife with a guard and some really nice wood. I have made a couple knives, hidden tang knives. I made the bone handle knife, but it's been a while since I've done a hidden tang knife. That would be kind of nice to do. I've been working on a little integral. Let me show you guys real quick. Let's see. Here it is. I'm kind of practicing some blacksmithing recently, and you know, trying to work on doing. This is a piece of just round bar from a spring, so spring steel. Working on trying to do an integral knife if I can. So you can see it's thick. So the blades here. This is where the tang would start, and this would be the bolster. So an integral bolster, which means that it's a bolster and all tang that's all part of one piece of steel. So I'd have to hammer this flat and then draw this area down to a tang, and then I'd have this bolster. So just playing around with it. I mean, that could be kind of cool. But yeah, I would like to make something. I'm thinking about doing a big Bowie knife, which would be fun. You know, that'd be fun to make a video for a Bowie knife on the channel. And I'll do that. That'll definitely have a guard. And it'll most likely be a hidden tang. Maybe a full through tang. I'm not sure. But, you know, big chopper like that, a big Bowie knife needs like a cool handle and a cool guard. That'd be a fun thing to do. Ever restored a lathe? And if so, where on earth did you get parts from? 30's a hobby. He said he has a 30s hobby lathe. Sean Nada. I have not restored a lathe. I have an old Craftsman lathe that I got from a yard sale. It doesn't have the motor. It's just the body. But it was just all rusted, and I got it for $5. I don't even think the people knew what it was. They were like, "Yeah, it was in the barn," and you know. So I bought that. I had that kind of taken apart a little bit to be able to do a restoration on that. But I'd have to get a motor, get a drive belt, and then set up some type of actual stand because it's just the body of it. So other than that, I haven't ever restored a lathe. I think your best bet for parts for old tools is going to be, you know, people aren't manufacturing new parts for things, so it's really about just getting old parts to fit the bill. If you're interested in seeing like cool restorations for old tools, I'd definitely check out Jimmy DeResta's channel. He does some really cool builds and cool restorations. That would be kind of a fun thing to do and check out. He buys lathes all the time, so I'm sure he has some videos specifically on lathes. But he talks about restoring old tools a lot and where he finds pieces for most of the stuff he finds on eBay. Let's see. Mikey from Butcher. Jones. Knives looking for a new bandsaw. Any recommendations on brands with bandsaws for cutting metal? If you're looking for a metal cutting bandsaw, I'd get a Portaband. You can, you know, again, it's all about what you can afford. If you can afford something really nice, you can get a Makita or get a Milwaukee Portaband. Get something nice. You know, if you have a shop where you can keep it plugged in, I'd buy a corded one, not a cordless, because you know, might as well. I don't even know if they have cordless Portabands, but I would say, yeah, I would suggest getting a Portaband. Like I said, I think Milwaukee is the brand that actually has Portaband. That's why I have an old one that one of my brothers lent to me, so I have that in my shop, and that works great. It just spins slowly, which is nice for cutting steel. But Harbor Freight has a couple good Portabands that would work really well. And there are some really cool. I think it's a company called Swag does a Portaband like bandsaw stand that you can actually hook it up, so it ends up being like a tabletop bandsaw, which gives you that like stability and support. I just clamp mine in my vise, and I don't use it all the time, so when I do, it works really well for what I need it for. And I built like a little tool rest, a table on top that extends out further than the one that came on it. So that's worked pretty well so far. But yeah, I would just suggest getting a Portaband because it's gonna cut metal much better than a full size bandsaw. If you're gonna get a big bandsaw, you're slower to be able to cut through metal. Crappy. I'm getting a slow signal on my computer, so hopefully you guys can see me okay. Let me know if I'm getting a little crazy or if you're losing some signal or if my image is bad. I don't know if you guys can see okay. Favorite all-around knife grind and why? I don't know. I kind of like just a saber grind. I think it's strong. It's stronger than like a full flat grind. So for steel, you have a couple different types of grinds. If you have, let's see, a regular. This is our blade. This is a piece of 01. This was the blade. You know, if you have a bevel that only goes a quarter of an inch or 3/8 of an inch, and it's a sharp angle. That's going to be called a Scandinavian grind or a Scandi grind. A saber grind is going to be bigger. It's going to be like more than about halfway or more. And then a flat grind or a full flat is going to be ground, all the way from the edge to the spine. So you get a full flat. And then there's a bunch of different grinds as well. I prefer a saber grind with a convex edge. So you get, this kind of a longer grind, but at the bottom you have kind of an apple seed instead of having a straight all the way down to the edge like a Scandinavian grind would have. Scandi grind has like a zero edge, no micro bevel. I kind of prefer a saber grind. So maybe halfway or a little bit more, and then a little bit of a convex edge, so it kind of rounds to the edge and gives you that just really nice, strong edge. That's my preferred use. Article says, my channel's gotten me back into knife making. I really appreciate that, man. Oh yeah, Trollsky. Trollsky's awesome. That dude, he does some really cool knives. He's got some really beautiful finish. I love his forge. It's really nice. But yeah. So, Abigail TV, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a beer on me. Thanks for the super chat, Abby. She's been a long time subscriber and long time friend of the channel. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. She's also one of our patrons over on Patreon. So Abby and her husband Guy, I really appreciate it. Glad to see you guys here. Tom, I saw you, buddy. Appreciate you stopping in. If you guys haven't, definitely check out my painting video that I just put out, and I painted that with my buddy Tom. Tom Simons is here now, so I'll give him a shout out. But yeah, he and I did a live stream, or he did a live stream and I did a painting together. We both did it at the same time, 2 hours. So if you've seen that video, that's my buddy Tom, who's here right now. Rhino54. Hello, built myself a new workbench. Nice. Man, I really workbenches are the key, I think, to like a nice shop. So I have the bench behind me that is attached to the wall. I have the bench right here in the middle of my room, which has a double screw vise from Veritas on the end, plus a single carpenter's vise on it. I have a vise on my main bench, and then I have a third table. All these are all like, I think that it's important to have a really nice surface that you can work on that's stable. This one that you guys are on used to actually have quite a wobble to it, but I did some lap jointed cross braces on either end, and now it's like rock solid. It made me super happy to have that, that bench is super nice. So. Let's see. Rhino54 says he built himself a bench. We'll try similar to your file and saw blade knives. Yeah, definitely check out. I mean, if you have old saw blades, those are really fun ways to get into knife making. If you buy a nice piece of steel, I mean, I bought, a piece of 01 tool steel that was precision ground, and I feel more like precious about it when I'm working on it. It's something where you get to the point where you're like, if you feel like you make a mistake, then you've wasted a ton of money. Even though like buying good steel is not a ton of money, once you get to the point where you want to make a quality product, it's worth it to buy some good steel. But until that time, just play around with old files. I mean, you can get good 1095 from old files, old Nicholson files, old, there's like Simmons files. There's a bunch of old brands that were good quality steel. Spring steel, railroad spikes, saw blades, all those are just fun ways to get into and play around with making knives. I mean, that's the whole point of, getting in and doing stuff that you love to do to make a tool for yourself that then you could survive off of. That's just something that's primal, that's built into us, I think, as makers. So, it's just one of those things I think is really fun to do. I love making it. So I love making knives, and I think old files and old saw blades are awesome. Larry Meyer, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Love your videos. Strong Cord, Patreon handle. Strong Cord. My brother Devin, who does the camera work and is my partner for the art of craftsmanship, he's doing all the comments right now. So he and I are both. And he's watching along. He's not here today, but he's watching. He's commenting. I think he just dropped that information in. So thank you. I appreciate it. Greetings from the UK. Great channel. Thank you, Zero Pence. Appreciate it. Cheers. Cheers in the UK. Recommend a good knife. Let's see what we got. Best steel you've worked with. Charles Ford. best steel I've worked with. I mean, I think one of the easier steels is 1084. 01 was fine. I've worked with 1095 and I've worked with 1075. Um, I've never worked with any stainless steels. I've had pretty good luck with all of them with heat treating. I have a cool heat treating app. You just type in the information for the steel, and then you get like you can see all the information, all the annealing and heat treating, tempering and hardening. All the information's there. It's really cool. I'll show you guys. I'll let you know what it is in 1 second. It's just called Heat Treat. It's HTS, Heat Treat Society, AMS International. Heat Treater's Guide Companion. So you guys can see that. Let's see. This is what it looks like. Let's see. How far am I behind? Sorry. There we go. So yeah, that's the heat treater's guide. I don't know if you can see that, but look for that little icon. That's the one you want. It's kind of a cool HTS. It's a really nice app. Works really well. Has all sorts of steels in there, and it works really good for giving you all the information you need for heat treating, so how long you should soak your steels. I don't have a heat treating oven, so I've only used steels that I can heat treat in my forge. Hopefully I'll be changing that soon. We'll see. All right, let's see. Could you recommend a good knife steel? We talked about that. Yeah, a good knife steel for starting out, I would say 1084. 1084 is a really good steel for simple heat treating. If you're just starting out and you want something that you can heat treat in a small, simple forge, or even with a torch, you can do that with 1084 because 1084 has this kind of a broad range of heat treated temperature. So as long as you get it up to that kind of cherry red, right on the edge of orange, and keep it there just for a few minutes, you quench in oil. I have canola oil that I quench in. Do that, and you're almost going to harden every time without fail. It's a really easy hardenable steel, and so that's what I would suggest. That makes it the best for heat treating. And for beginners. That's what he asked. Let's see. Bandsaw blades make good duck knives fillet. 1-inch bandsaw blades make good duct knives fillet. Asking if the 1-inch bandsaw blade would make a good fillet knife. There are lots of people that have used bandsaw blades for knives. Again, I guess it just depends on how thick it is. You know, a 1-inch bandsaw blade, as long as you get some thickness, that you'll have a little bit of rigidity. Obviously, a fillet knife, you want it to have some flex to it, but it also has to have some rigidity. It can't be completely flexible. I know big, like cross-cut bandsaw blades. There's big, like wide ones that are 3 or more inches thick. That have been through history. Lots of people have used them. A lot of like upper Northwest American and West Coast Canada people, tribes and stuff will use those to make wood carving, tools, all sorts of different things. I mean, people all over the world have used bandsaw blades for knives. I've seen stuff from all over, from China and Japan to Native American and Native Canadian and Inuit and all sorts of American. Even now, people are still using bandsaw blades. Again, it's just about the thickness. You can use pretty much any tooling steel, especially something that is designed to be heat treated and cut. You can repurpose that to make a cutting tool. But you just have to make sure, like if you're using something like a newer file, you want to make sure it's not case hardened. Again, that means if your file is case hardened, it means it's only hardened on the outside. So it's really shallow hardened on the outside of it, and it's not hardened, possibly not hardenable all the way through. So get an older file. They're usually full 1095 or a similar type of steel. Sean Ritchie asks, let's see. Or Noodles, 1980, my favorite type of handle material. I love the feel of wood, so that's what I use mostly is wood. I love that kind of the warmth you get in wood, but I also really like bone. I'd like to do more antlers and more bone. I'd like to get some more. There's something nice about like the white creaminess of bone that looks really nice to handle too. So I'd like to get some bigger antlers, or get some like reindeer antler, things like that. Would be cool to make some handles out of. I'd like to make some bone. I made the little white-tailed deer leg bone knife for my daughter. That just feels really nice. There's like a nice quality to it and looks beautiful. So bone and wood. Then a saw blade for my daughter. That's cool, man. Saw blade knife. Sean Ritchie says he made a saw blade knife for his daughter. That's cool, and it was fun making a knife for my daughter. I really enjoyed that project, and she really likes that knife. She almost lost it recently, but we were outside, and we backtracked all the places that she was, and we found it. So I was a little bit more upset than I should have been. I didn't really like, she knew I was upset because it was important to me, but we found it, so all is good. Can glue alone be used as a knife handle? Glue alone? So Devin's asking me where the knife was. It was actually just right out near our driveway. My daughter had been running around. She had the knife in the sheath, and she had been taking it out, and she was cutting like onion grass and little Johnny jump ups, little flowers and things that all edible little plants and things. She was making like a little salad, and she had it in the sheath, but I think that she was running with it. Maybe she didn't put it in all the way in the sheath, and so it was in the basket, and she was carrying it, and I think it just fell out of the sheath at some point. She was running, or, walking around doing, like, looking for different stuff. I'm gonna get back real quick. Noodles 1980 said, can glue alone be used as a knife handle? If you guys aren't familiar with a knife maker, his name is Andreas Kalani. Check him out. He does some really beautiful knife handles, and he has this whole line of knife handles that he designed, and he calls them Natural Galaxy, and it's basically a full resin handle with all sorts of different cool things. He'll put in like bugs and grass and flowers and just different stuff into the resin, and so that way you have this clear resin with these things floating inside, and all these gorgeous colors and gorgeous patterns stuff he comes out with. So you can make, you can just cast resin, which, if you're using like a two-part epoxy, that's a hardener and a resin base. So if you're using a hardenable resin as, as your handle material, it can definitely be done. Let's see. You ever go over etching logos on your knife? I have not done any etch logos because I don't have an etching machine. I'd like to get a personalizer or a nice etching machine, or even rig up, like something to work. I definitely want to do that. Now I have the new logo. You guys can see if you go check out my Teespring page. This is our new logo, and I have new shirts and things. I want to start, I want to figure out and start using this logo on my knives. So that will be etched onto my knives in the future. But still getting that underway. Knife making, I love knife making, but it's still just a hobby of mine. And I've done a few knife commissions, and I've sold a few knives, but more of it is just me I enjoy making knives, and I enjoy making them and giving them away, or doing them for favors and presents and things like that. So if I get into it more full time, or if I'm getting more like commissions and people requesting, which people do ask all the time, but my full-time job and filming for the channel, my free time that I have in the shop, I want to work on other stuff, and I have other projects and things like that. So I don't necessarily want to have to just use my time in the shop that I'm not filming for just making knives to sell. So I do love making knives, but at this point, I have other things. If it were my full-time job to just do YouTube channel, then I would, I'd do the YouTube channel, and I'd do other things just in the shop to make things, but I also am a teacher full-time. Used a heat-treated AEBL in Forge. Not sure how good still testing. 1900 heat temp, 350 temper. AEBL. Robert Coons says, using heat-treated AEBL in the Forge. I'm actually going to look that up on my heat-treating app. Let's see. Find alloy. I think AEBL is stainless, and this might not have it on here. Come on. Let's see. AE. No, I don't have it here. Yeah, I mean, if you can heat treat stainless, I think AEBL is stainless. Yeah, you do have to get it up to high temperatures. Normal, critical temperature for most high carbon steels is around 14 to 1500 in that range. So you only have to hit that kind of temperature to get a hardenable temperature. But for stainless, you have to get up a lot higher, and you have to keep it at that temperature first, because you can set that heat treating oven to a certain temperature, set it to stay at that temperature for a certain amount of time, so it can soak in that, and then quench. A lot of it are going to be like plate quenching with aluminum plate, which that can be done. That's not super hard to make or do, but keeping the temperature on stainless really consistent for a long time to get a good hardened stainless steel blade is important. So most people don't heat treat in the forge, but hey, if you were able to do it and it worked and you can test it and it's hardened, that's awesome. More power to you. 9-volt battery on a power supply. Negative does the etching, positive connected to the blade. Use the Q-tips on the pre-cut vinyl sticker. 9-volt battery or power supply. Yeah, I've looked into a couple of ways to do etching. Sean's asking about using etching on blades. That's funny that you could actually use just a straight 9-volt. Other power supplies you can rig up to make power supply for computers on the right thing. You can do that. You can use battery chargers. There are definitely different ways to do it, but I haven't done it yet. So I think I'm kind of looking for one that's going to work well, and I can be made. And if not, I'd like to do one as a project, because I think that'd be a fun video for the channel. I'd like to do something like that where I'm actually make customizer, but a personalizer, but I haven't found one that I really like yet. So I've been doing some research off and on. A buddy of mine, Sean from Crafting a Life I Want, he also has done some research, and we've kind of gone back and forth. Oh, look at that. He's commented on it. Old car battery charger. Yes. Yeah, and that's one of those things that I've looked into, so I'm thinking about it. It'd be fun. Plastic serrated knife blades. Opinion on plastic serrated knife blades. Most plastic blades are for cutting lettuce. If you cut it with steel, it can, brown. So if you find wooden knives or plastic knives, those are for cutting vegetables, but specifically lettuce, because the plastic won't brown the lettuce. Philadelphia, Don Lewis from Philadelphia checking in. Let's see, ever stopping through? Beers on me. Don Lewis from Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm just down in Maryland, northern Baltimore County. So I've got some friends up in Philly. I really like Philadelphia. That's a cool city. That's got when I was in college, I'd visit Philadelphia occasionally because I'm an artist and I went to art school. We'd go up and go to museums and stuff. I had some friends who lived up there. We'd stay with them, and that was for a while by far one of the craziest cities that I'd ever driven in. It was a weird city to drive in. I don't know, something about it was just kind of the crazy streets and stuff. And I'm driven in Baltimore, ever since I can drive, so I know Baltimore's crazy too. But I think maybe the craziest city after I had driven in Philly, that was kind of the top of my list. I was up in New Hampshire for grad school and drove in Boston, and Boston is way crazier than Philly. Boston, something about there's tons of roundabouts and all the streets go in all directions, and I don't know. I'm sure, obviously, if you know the city, doesn't seem so crazy, but Boston to me was a wild city to drive in. All right, let's see what we got. So it looks like I'm losing you guys a little bit. Hello. Looks like I lost my stream. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody. I'm not sure, but let me refresh my page and see what we got. There we go. Let's see, are we still live? Okay, looks like we're still live. Good. All right. Anybody else? Anybody have any questions about shop stuff specifically? If I missed a question, just let me know again. Finishing up my beer. Probably have another beer, and then we'll go till about 2:30 or so. Since I started, I like to kind of do about an hour or so for these live streams. It's fun just hanging out in the shop and chatting. Baltimore. Ooh, let's see. Okay. Ever reach out to Buck and Billy Ray? I haven't reached out to Buck and Billy Ray. Buckin's cool, man. I love that channel. It's fun to watch. That dude is like just spreading love. I love his mentality. I love how happy he is and how like full of love. And he's sending love out and he's building a cool community out on the west coast of Canada, British Columbia. Um, but yeah, he's that's a cool guy. I really like his channel. I love his axe stuff. Obviously, I'm an axe junkie, so I love that stuff. But um, yeah, I don't know. He was recently wearing a Killinger suspenders, so that was kind of cool. I've talked back and forth with Chris Killinger, but yeah, that was so it was kind of cool seeing him wearing those Killinger suspenders and using some Killinger axes. Hey from France. Finished my first try at forging. Nice, real ugly little kukri. Let's see, Batu Lornitho. That's cool, man. There's something, again, like I said earlier, a little like primal about forging and fire and making tools and making knives. And I can't get enough of it. So that's cool. I'm glad you got to like try out forging and make it, whether it's ugly or not, it's still just cool to like know you can go from a chunk of steel and turn it into some type of tool or knife or axe or something that you can use. It's a great just a great experience in general. Still with us. Still with us. Dad, I'm here. Hello. Can you see me okay? That's how I found Bucking through. Oh, nice. Through Killinger. Right on. Thanks for hanging with us. Yeah, sorry guys if I'm a little crazy sometimes. I'm in the basement. I'm just using my my phone for my my internet. It's not the greatest. I think about maybe doing a live stream next week or sometime, maybe next weekend. I did a stew over the fire, so I think it might be fun to do a live stream outside and cook the stew, and just we'll chat then. So that's something you're interested in. Let me know in the comments down below. It'd be fun to do cooking a little bit over the fire, a little outdoor cooking, and I think it'd be kind of cool. Bonjour. Je suis de France et j'adore ce que tu fais. Ce que tu fais. Bonjour. Je suis de France. I'm in France and I love. That's as much as I got. Laurent Torigna. John Claris. Free stew. Yep. All right. So I've been working on, if you guys know, you've been following along, I've been kind of posting some stuff. I've been working on a collaboration we've been doing some let's see, I don't want to give it away completely because we're still working on it, but we're changing, taking a machete and making it into a sword. I'll tell you that much. So he and I are both building them. It's taking a little longer just because of the pandemic and the lockdowns and all the different things that we're all on, and the amount of time we can spend on working on those type of things. But it is kind of fun. We've been getting it. We did a glue up, and maybe I'll show you just a little sneak peek of just a part of it. So you can see that. You can see this part. Here's the tip of the blade. Let's see, maybe I'll show you a little bit of the back just to get, let's see what I can show without giving too much. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Just a little bit of the pommel. So yeah, it's been fun working on a machete sword build. Did the glue up yesterday, the handle and everything, and it all went really well. So that was fun. It's cool to it's cool to make a sword for the first time. I made some knives and I made different things, but just something, again, it's something just really nice about having a sword. Just something, just holding, just a machete in general. You hold a machete, you feel like you have this like power with that length and that type of momentum in a piece of steel that has such a history to it. So it's fun to make it, and I'm a little kid at heart, so my whole life has been like swords and sticks and rocks and axes and knives and running around and camping and playing games and warriors and stuff. So really, being able to make something like this, that's like the real thing, is something that I think all little kids would love to do, and it's been fun to make. So let's see. Yeah, Sean, no, thank you. He said hello to France, and he loves the channel. I kind of figured that's probably what it was, but wanted to didn't know for sure. So lots of GoldenEye. Yes, lots of GoldenEye. I love me some GoldenEye. John Claris. Should do a Liku. So a Liku. So for those of you who don't know, a puko is like a Swedish or Finnish name for a knife. It's a small knife, kind of utility everyday knife, EDC. A Liku is like a long version of a puko, and I'm not a huge fan of Likus. I don't know why exactly, but it's something about the shape of it. It's like it doesn't have the same type of elegance that a puko has to me, because there's something about the size of the blade that I just think seems kind of crazy. But I don't know. Hi. You want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Look at this, everybody.
Hey there.
It's my daughter. Can you sit down for a minute?
This is my chair now.
Oh, okay. Are we both in? There we go. Ah, nice. All right. Laurent, hello. Oh, look, Crafting Life I Want. Sean said hi.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Corinne. Hey, everybody. So, my daughter and my wife are outside working in the garden, which is where I'll be going to help out in a little bit, but it's been fun. So, oh, you're right. Corinne wants me to play Lego Harry Potter with her, and I promised her that I would. We've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, so those of you Nintendo Wii people like out there, Animal Crossing is fun. But yes, we've been playing Lego Harry Potter as well on the Switch.
I started your own game.
No, not Wii, no, on the Switch. Yes. Look, so you have Sean saying hi, John Claris.
Okay.
Lego Star Wars is just too good. Lego games are the best. Yes. Pop says hi. Scott O'Hara, that's my father. Corinne's grandfather. Hello, everybody. Pino Coin. Ciao. Dall'Italia. Dall'Italia. Ciao is hello. Dall'Italia. Maybe from Italy. Hello from Italy. Pino Coin. Should do a Liku. Yeah, so Sean, he mentioned about making a Liku, and I thought about that, but I don't know. Hello from Poland, Thomas Woda. Good to see you, Thomas. Thanks for joining in. If I talked a little bit earlier, and want to say it again for those of you who didn't hear it. I just recently got a 2x72 grinder from Brian House at Housework. If you know of Brian through his channel, he's awesome. If you don't know him, go check him out. Housework on YouTube. He does a really great job. He custom built and sent me one of his 2x72 Revolution grinders, which are super awesome. And we're making a video. We just finished up the video for that. We built the whole thing. So he sent it. He built it for me, but he sent it in pieces. I had to piece it back together, and then I had to mount my motor on it. So we just finished the video of unboxing that and mounting it and getting ready. So super excited about that. So definitely look for that in the next few days. And like I said, head over to Housework on YouTube and give him some love. He does an awesome job and really cool videos. And he's really supportive of the YouTube community right now. And kind of we're all stuck at home, so sending some information out there, putting love out there, and it's important that we're all kind of part of this community, that we're all working together and being kind to each other. All right, any other questions, guys? Looks like we're kind of starting to wrap up the stream. I'm just about to finish my beer. I'm gonna open another beer before we finish up. But it's been fun hanging out. We got maybe about 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes or so. If there's any questions about things I have in the shop, or projects that I've done, or my opinion on stuff, let me know. Walter Waller. Oh, Walter Waller. He actually sent me a message on Instagram. I did get it, and I responded to you. You said that you had taken some pictures and posted them on Instagram, and you tagged me in them. I did look for the tag, and I looked for the hashtag, and I looked for my at the Art of Craftsmanship. I searched, I couldn't find it. So let me know. You can send me an email at the Art of Craftsmanship or Gmail, artofcraftsmanship@gmail.com. You can send me an email there, or I don't know, put up another pic or send me a DM directly. I'd like to see that knife. I said he had made a knife, and he sent me some pics and he wanted my opinion on it. So I'd love to see it. I'd love to give you my opinion. Red wine in France. So how are you doing? How are you liking? I don't know if you guys follow. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen that. We just did a project in the shop where we made. Sure, you can grab it.
Yes.
So we made a wooden bug, like a 12-legged, crazy little spidery bug type thing with wood and leather, and she really had a fun time doing it. But we got to cut everything. We had to mark all of our marks and cut. I let her cut with the bandsaw. Somebody asked me last time, like, when's a good time to start your children in the shop? And I said, as soon as you feel comfortable with them being in the shop, if they're you're in there with them, you can teach them the right way to handle the materials and the tools and things like that, and you can be safe. I had her with respiration protection and hearing protection, eye protection, and she got to use the bandsaw a little bit, very carefully to kind of cut out a bunch of straight lines, which is good practice. She got to use the grinder and the sander and the chop saw, and we made a fun little project. Here you go.
So, this is bug.
So this is the bug. You can see where you're holding it. So I'm going to show them a little closer. So it has articulated body. So the body kind of, you can move that way, and then the legs all articulate as well. And it's actually held together with a piece of leather on the bottom. So the entire bottom is one full piece of leather. We just super glued on the wood, which at the time I was thinking probably the best way. Everything seems to be holding pretty well. There's one little spot here that comes a little loose, but I don't know. We'll have to put a little bit of epoxy in that spot and see if that'll hold a little bit better. But it was cool. Just little nails, wood, all from scrap wood. Got to cut all the legs with independent joints. She did all those. Cut on the bandsaw. Did all of the sanding. Yep. Sanded all the body with the grinder. Did all the sanding, like all these little faceted areas and stuff, which I think is really cool. So, yeah, I mean, we worked together on the whole thing, but it was fun. It was a fun project. Let's see what we got. Live stream. Thomas Woda. What do we want? Mike Nickel. Hello from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Happy Easter. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Happy Easter to you as well. Happy Easter. Happy Passover for everybody. Good to see everybody. Hope you are doing well. Let's see. See you later. Happy Easter. Thanks, Dad. Happy Easter to you as well. Our Craftsman's hoodie. Love it. Nice. Great bug. Mike Nichols says, great bug. Looks great. Good job. Don Lewis. More time in the shop than me. Yeah, it's been fun trying to, do some fun stuff that's fun and also educational. That usually doesn't go hand in hand as much as we would like it to. So try to do things outside. We've done some scavenger hunts. We've done some shop stuff. We've played some games. We've done some obstacle course stuff around, and tried to have fun.
We raced the obstacle courses.
We did. We set up an obstacle course, which was kind of different things around the yard, climbing over things and jumping and doing things like that. And then she did it, and then I did it, and we timed ourselves. And I think we were pretty much evenly matched for a lot of the stuff. She's a little bit more nimble than I am, even though I don't like to admit it at this age. She's lighter and a little more nimble. But I think we're about. I'm still faster in just pure speed, but not by a lot. She's close. So Mike Nichols says that he wearing his Art Craftsmanship hoodie, and we said send us a picture. We'd love to see that. Like, you send me a picture, or if you post me something like that, I'd like to repost and show people wearing that type of stuff on Instagram. I really appreciate it. It does make a difference. All right, let's see what we got. Beer number 2. Let's see which one I want. I'm gonna try. Actually, I'll try this. So I have some Magic Hat. I have some UFO. Second beer is UFO Georgia Peach. I'm gonna drink that one. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, let's see. Nope.
It takes a long time to get caught up.
Georgia Peach. So it says a refreshing Hefeweizen, right off the peach tree flavor. My wife picked these up yesterday. She was interested in the peach one. We're usually not a big fan of like fruity beers. I do like the Leinenkugel, the shandies and things. I do like them in the summer, and I like some like IPAs with grapefruit, things like that. But just like the straight like berry ones, I'm not a huge fan of most of the time. So we'll try the peach. Yeah, it tastes like peach. That's good though. Has a good hoppiness to it. Yeah, that's nice. A little bit of bitterness. I like it.
Wants to get more?
Mm-hmm. All right, look. Crafting Life I Want says that listening down by the river. E's with him. Hi E, how's it going?
Hey,
It's our buddy Sean. He and his son are down by the river. Perfect place to be. It's a beautiful day outside. Sowito Gold. What's Sowito? I've never heard of Sowito Gold. I'm assuming that's beer. Great content. Have a great weekend. Better holiday. Don Lewis, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Happy Easter to all of our subscribers out there. Happy Easter and happy Passover, everybody. I appreciate everybody joining in and watching. My surname, pronounced Bota. W isn't a V. Baltic Porter. Excuse me. Baltic Porter. Nice. I do like dark beers. Sean. Sowito Gold is horrible. I don't really want that. You do not have to send that to me. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, we're getting ready to wrap this up. We've been going for an hour and 2 minutes. Enough time for me to slowly drink one beer. Usually I drink beer in maybe 10 minutes. I drink quick. I don't know. I like to drink. Not just, I don't like to drink. I mean, I like to drink beer, but I like to drink things in general. I'm a very...
You like cold things.
I do like cold things. I always have like a bottle of water or like, a water bottle or a glass of water or coffee or something. I've always liked to keep myself hydrated. It's horrible. All right, guys. Well, any last questions or anything before I go? Appreciate everybody hanging out with me today. Again, we just it's fun to do a hangout. My next live stream will probably be making a stew over the fire. So it'll be fun to hang out there. We'll do a little bit outside. Hopefully we'll get a little bit better audio or a little bit better video outside, a little bit better quality. We'll see about the audio because if I can do the microphone, we'll see how that. We have to do some more tests on it, but I don't know. It's really unfortunate that the microphones aren't working as well. I could hook up to my computer and do it that way, but I think the video is going to be better this way. So we'll see. We're going to play around with it for a couple different ways. We'll see how it works. Hopefully we can give you guys a little bit better quality in the future. But I appreciate everybody hanging out today and stopping by. A difference. It's fun hanging out and doing live streams with you guys. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been good. Cheers to all of our friends from all over the place. Again, I put this up today. Didn't want to do this live stream in the afternoon because I want to make sure that all of our subscribers from across the U.S. can tune in, and everybody else from outside of the U.S. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing and watching the channel. It's crazy how many people from around the world tune in to what we're doing here, and just it's an honor. So I really appreciate it, and I want to thank all you guys so much for being part of this community that we're trying to create on YouTube and support your YouTube content creators. We're all doing this stuff because we love doing it, and we like putting the content out there. We do appreciate the support when you do it, but there's this kind of a really nice group of people, this community of content creators that are really working hard to put some stuff out there that's important to you guys, and also give you something during this time where we're all stuck at home. So show your everyone some love. Make sure that you always give thumbs up when you watch videos. Subscribe to the channels you like. Support them on Patreon if you can, if that's something you can do. And if not, just comment and support. It makes a big difference. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. It's been fun today, and we will see you on the next live stream. Keep your eye out. We have our next video coming out in the next day or so. And let me know what you think. Check it out. Give me a like and subscribe, and send me some comments. I'd love to hear what you think about it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been fun, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.